Hi, I'm Joan Cox. I'm a figurative painter based in Baltimore. I'm actually born and raised in Baltimore. I did leave for a while and tried to open my own gallery and ran it for 2 years in New Orleans until Hurricane Katrina came. And I got washed back to the East Coast and eventually did my MFA through a low residency program in Provincetown. And that's where I discovered really the passion that I would have for the next 10 years and currently in my work. So I've always been a figurative painter. Even in undergrad, I explored a lot of interracial couples and figures in general in watercolor. But it wasn't until I got to graduate school 10 years later, and somewhere along the way came out of the closet, that I realized I really wanted to paint basically myself and my community, and to create paintings that I wasn't able to see in galleries and museums. So I continued to explore how to paint the figure and switch to oils. I practiced a lot on painting pears for years and years because of the feminine shape of pear, until I really found my voice in both paint and in subject matter. Sapphic Gaze is a show that has taken essentially years. These works have been in progress for numerous years. Some were completed a while ago. This one behind me has been in progress for a year and a half. And you'll see the details up close, and you might understand why, to see how much work has gone into it. But all of them are really just capturing women together in an intimate moment. Sometimes it's an intimate moment in nature, and sometimes it's an intimate moment in a private world, like on our couch or in a bedroom. They're not overly sexualized, they're just intensely loving. And what I want to present is that our lives in the queer community are just as loving and beautiful as any others. And I want to create these life-size works that if you walk into a gallery or museum, you can just feel like, wow, that's me up on the wall. Or maybe you can relate to, your daughter, son, nephew, some relative, or your own community, and just recognize the intimacy and the quality of our lives, the patterns, the personal moments. They're all reflected in these paintings, and they're portraits and narratives and still lives all rolled into one beautiful package. This painting is a self-portrait of me and my partner at the time. She's still my partner. We're married now, so we've been together almost 23 years. And this painting was actually completed 10 years ago, and it's included in the show because it was recently selected to have music, dance, and lyrics written to it and performed by the Gay Men's Chorus of DC, which is a pretty amazing thing. But the reason this painting even began was I saw another artist, her name is Xenia Hausner. She paints in Berlin, and she had a similar composition, and I love that composition so much that I reenacted it with my wife and I, and it just became the starting point of this work of these double portraits. And so that was completed 10 years ago, and then I've just completed this week more of a family portrait with the two of us and our 10-year-old. Well, in the painting, she's depicted as about 5 years old. But it's a total family portrait tree with all of our dogs in the portrait, us in the tree. But even on the tree, as I was doing the painting, at the same time I was doing on the side some Ancestry.com, research. And I started to have all these names floating in my head and all these family histories floating in my head. And I thought, what am I going to do? How am I going to get these out of my head? And I just realized one day I had to put them in the painting and make them on the tree and make them part of the bark. And it's just every single parent, grandparent. And I found some famous people, thanks to Ancestry.com, even King Edward III, and a lot of not famous people, but amazing stories. And they're just woven completely into this painting from the ground up, and captures all the way back to about 1100. I found out I had 400 years worth of family history right in Maryland, and then lots in the UK, and a little bit, here and there. But the painting itself, I hope that people can connect with and maybe look for their own family name. It's probably on this tree. There's so many people and histories that if every single one of those individuals didn't live and exist, I wouldn't live and exist. So it's called Family Totem. And it captures our spirit animals, our nature, the things that we love about life, and it puts it all in one 9.5-foot tall painting. I'd like viewers of this exhibition to feel celebrated and to take away that just happy feeling that we're not taboo as lesbians in this Western culture. We shouldn't be taboo. We are just loving couples who should be celebrated. And LGBTQ people are often not celebrated. They are often, hated and have hate crimes, against them. And I want this work to just bring joy to all of us. So this fall I'm exhibiting in Mexico City as part of a Day of the Dead event at an embassy there. And my work is inspired by Frida Kahlo, the particular painting I'll be showing there. And after that, I will be having more of a solo exhibition in Mexico City for the art fairs in February. And I'm hoping to kind of jump to the next level and have a few more museum exhibitions, group shows, leading maybe one day to a solo show in a museum. So that's the goal. And or to have a museum acquire some of my works so that they can really be available to the public and viewed by the public. And that's really what I paint them for.